It's 12:21 and it's still the same date. It's still Wednesday, and unfortunately, I'm still experiencing intruders and trespassers and culprits of exacerbatory crime. So it's quite tedious. I suppose it's a regurgitation of the usual humdrum of crime that I'm experiencing. But as I've mentioned, I've been of crime prevention and I'm experiencing people of bad behaviour, bad manners, that have exacerbated their deaths dangerously with all the offences that they're causing on a day-to-day basis, intruding and slandering and so on and so forth. So as I live on my own and as I'm a property owner with qualifications, and that has contributed to state legislation and other legislation as well, I might add, it's quite serious that my son is still illegally from my care, legally a missing person, and that Royal Protocol is being offended. For the interest of the European Court of Human Rights, I have a few royal titles that are being offended by people that are offending my records, my ancestors' records. There have been cheeky little so and so's intruding upon our family records and being quite disrespectful to my family heritage. So it's quite unsafe that these individuals are still around with their malaise, with the problems that they have very dangerous debts owing for. It's quite dangerous, my good name being offended. It's dangerous for any good name to be offended, and it brings down the standards that are expected with COVID-19 protocol. So as I live on my own and that I'm being intruded upon by people that aren't observing proximity, protection, privacy and protocol, I am urging China to assist in addressing the ASBOs that are disrespecting zero tolerance policies with loose lips that have sunk ships and that have increased their debts. It's getting really embarrassing that people are sending correspondence to my door of extortion attempts that owe me very dangerous dues. It's really all very serious, and I'm sure that the population of citizens in China are aware how etiquette is so serious to offend. But here in the southwest of Ireland, it's quite deplorable what's going on. So they haven't got a moral compass, these people, without having addressed the honourability issues in their debt evasion and the defamation of my good name, character and reputation for the past 20 years. So the European Court of Human Rights, I just hope everyone's on the right side of the law. As I've said, it would be really a shame for the crime prevention that I've been of between 2017 and 2019 being disrespected with the crime that I'm unduly, inexcusably and unforgivably, in the language of the United Nations, tolerating from a day-to-day basis, while also contending with the offences that incompetent practitioners have done against the Hippocratic Oath and best practice. So they're not above the law, they don't have the law, and there's a penalty for offending the law, as we all know. So if the relevant bodies wouldn't mind addressing the debtors that owe for the damages, harms and losses that are also with regard to the monetisation from my credentials, all of those, the family protection that I received €220 from in a job seekers allowance. That's a little bit of a shortfall when I'm supposed to be receiving a little bit more, with the damages as well that I have to contend with. I have to see a dentist, I don't have medical care, and Ireland has assisted corruption to assist financial money laundering from stolen wealth of mine. So that's a dangerous issue to be supporting, considering what I did between 2017 and 2019. So the Department of Family Protection might think about how unsmart and unwise it is to be processing money that isn't actually with the how would you say, the there's money being processed from its office that isn't accurate. and isn't calculated properly or allocated properly. So those that are supporting financial fraud, again from Southwest Ireland, unfortunately, I can't say how unsafe it is, but those that are in the family protection, social protection offices in this country, there's huge legislation debts that I'm owed for, and that's quite serious, with the damages, harms and losses as well on the Department of Housing, Heritage and local bodies, the list as well. So the Department of Agriculture has also been made aware of how unsafe trespasses as well. So I hope everyone's on the right side of the law. I don't like my tooth having been damaged in emergency accommodation because of linoleum, cheap flooring, where people are venturing onto pastures green where I don't permit them. So those that are at 18 Rock Street without invitation, while my son is illegally from my care, this is all a very dangerous issue. And I hope the little girls at the Garda Síochána, I hope they're all very aware of how sinister the situation is to spiral out of any further control with exacerbation or retaliation. That's a really bad example to the little girls with regard to the harms to my child that Garda Síochána are aware of since 2017. So I hope the European Court of Human Rights is aware of the dangers of hate crime, ASBO behaviour and the failed attempts of treason that I've already had to treat and that aren't a repeat performance possibility in this community. So those that are silly talking about my property, creative, intellectual or otherwise, or my royal ancestors' records, those people offending my royal ancestors' records, you might be careful about what has happened with culprits that already attempted to be of treason against my royal titles. It failed. So in the best interest of everybody that has standards, I would appreciate the relevant bodies contacting me at the number I've provided. I'm experiencing cybercrime, so there's been an alteration to the number that I provided. My phone has been interfered with, my data has been interfered with, and I'm experiencing images of my phone being damaged as well, and uploads, etc. So for the interest of China, cybercrime, monetary fraud, and disrespect to privacy laws, zero tolerance policies rule the day. I'm Royal Protocol. There are obligations and expectations, and those using my name to slander me, they're offending my lovely families. So they're not within remit, they don't have rights, and they're not safe spending stolen wealth. So the Family Protection Office or Department might be careful about how underpaid I am when I have these kind of damages to repair as well. So all the social reform is being put to waste. So that's a really serious situation when people are disrespecting the social reform that came from me. It's the land of begrudgery, and obviously not the land of saints and scholars, unfortunately. So when everyone decides to become saintly and scholarly, then the good old Ireland might have positive progressive development step forward made, besides people being cheeky and a little bit presumptuous with what doesn't belong to them. It's quite dangerous. These people are really greasy fingered and dirty paws on people's belongings like my own that they have stolen so much from, and the innocent life that they took illegally from me. His name is Garrod McElligott. He was born on the 14th of the 10th 2015. He's a missing child due to land grabbers in County Kerry, causing problems with people's money since 2006. It's a sad sign of the times.